What's up, guys? I have another knife review today. Yes, I do, and this is one you have no idea that I had. I have tons of knives that you don't know I have. Sometimes I'll give you a little teaser, I'll show you something and say, hey, this is what I got, I'm going to review it soon, and other times I just spring one on you, like today. And I'm springing this on you. This is a very, very cool, very affordable fixed blade. Obviously, you can see it pictured on the box all over the place. Can't miss it. This is a fixed Karambit. This one's from Untitled Cutlery. Okay, if you're familiar with Untitled Cutlery, you'll know that this is very cheap and or affordable, depending on how you want to put it. These sell for $32.95. This one came from bladeops.com. I had an order with them recently. Very, very happy with them. I've used a lot of different retailers, but I've talked about Blade Ops before, and you're going to see some more stuff from them in the near future. Good prices and really nice people to work with as well. So yeah, this is definitely, for me, I'm interested in this because it's cool, first of all. Yeah, I mean, it's really aggressive looking. It's an awesome looking knife. But I'm also a huge fan of Karambits, and I wanted this as a self-defense option for a blade, something that I can sharpen up, just get a hair-popping edge on it, and leave it alone. But that being said, I did carry and use this for a little while for utility purposes to see how it would function in that way. Now, a lot of people will write off Balisongs, they'll write off Karambits as functional utility knives. They say they're too extreme, it's stupid, it's a novelty. Couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, a hawkbill style blade is a very aggressive cutter, and it's great for utility if you can get past the fact that you're almost always going to have a fragile tip on it because it is an acute tip and you don't have the strength there. But it depends on how hard you're using your knives. So anyway, I just want to show you the box here. Most of the Untitled Cutlery stuff, I mean, it's very, good with advertising. I mean, you see the knife pictured on the box. If you're at a store or something and it was inside, you clearly see what you're going to get. You even, get a little shot of the knife in the sheath. So this is called the Honshu. Let's see what we got here on the back. Yes, there's also an all black version, which is equally as cool. I don't like coated blades as often, given the choice, which I, obviously did. They carry both of them for the same exact price. I went with the satin finish one just because I like the look of it better. But if you're one of those people that like the all blacked out stuff, it is an awesome looking knife. And I believe there's another version out there, zombie apocalypse type version, where you have the satin blade or satin finish with a green molded handle. A little bit harder to find, but if you're into the whole zombie thing, then they're out there. But Blade Ops carries both the standard satin and the black version. I just preferred this one. So we open up the box, and where's the knife? Oh, just kidding, it's over there. You get a little bit of paperwork here advertising some of their other stuff. And there you go, some of their other stuff. So, actually these tailwind folders, I'm interested in these as just, reviewing another cheapo knife. I want to see what they're like. So possibly a review of a tailwind knife from Untitled Cutlery in the future. But anyway, what I want to mention about the box is that when you get the knife, here it is right here, the sheath and knife are separate, okay? Because of the fact that it's so heavily angled, you get the knife with a piece of cardboard, a cardboard sleeve, okay? And it's gonna be in there, and then this will be separate in a bag. Now, I had one issue when I got this knife, and it's no fault of Blade Ops. It is just something that Untitled Cutlery happens to. I happen to have this issue with stuff I've gotten from them in the past, so I know it's not Blade Ops, it's just a storage issue. Whatever warehouse or facility they store their stuff, it tends to be humid. And the sheath originally, even though the knife was brand new, it had a little bit of mildew on it. Kind of looked like a light dusting, almost like it was dusty, but in circle patterns, which is the beginnings of mildew or mold or whatever. It very easily wiped off the water. A wet paper towel. Literally one swipe and it was gone. So it wasn't like it was moldy, but it was the beginnings of it. So just wherever they're storing their crap is just too damp or moist. The sheath is very, very typical of Untitled Cutlery stuff. It's real leather, but it's real cheap leather. Very stiff, plasticky type feel. It's totally functional. What I do like about this sheath, first of all, you can see there's a belt clip on it. And I'll talk about the way it's mounted and how I've been carrying this knife, which I really like. But also one major thing is they have a gun holster style button snap. Okay, we can see that there's a support plate. That metal plate gives it rigidity. So when the knife is in your sheath, all right, and you have the thumb, the little, you know, wrapped around, and the button snap is locked, it's not going to flop back and forth, okay? When you go to grab this knife in any orientation, even if you're grabbing it in reverse grip and you can use your pinky, by pushing on here, because you have that reinforcement of the little stainless steel plate, it's going to move that button very easily, okay? So it doesn't take much pressure on here to unsnap that. It's very, very effective. Without this little piece of metal, trust me, you can have a good, strong button snap, and you can literally bend this completely back and it won't unsnap. So as far as security and the fact that if you really do have to get your knife out fast for a defensive type situation, it's going to be a very, very good system to use. It's going to unsnap for you every single time. All right, and once unsnapped, it is very easy to remove. So as far as the sheath, the overall quality, you know, it's cheap. It's a cheap knife, cheap sheath. But, you know, of all the cheap sheaths out there, this is definitely one of the better ones, specifically from United Cutlery. So I'm very pleased with this. Now you can see there's a belt clip with this. The box actually says boot clip. I don't know, I think it's a little bit big for boot knife, but hey, I don't know, if you can get away with that, then, you know, all the better. But how I have this mounted is on the small of my back, because it's situated kind of like a inside the waistband holster. All right, in that, you know, the knife is going to be inside your waistband, and of course it's going to be clipped to the outside of your pants and or belt. And depending on how you orient this on your person, depends on how you really want to grip it. If it's just directly on your right side of your body, you're more than likely going to have to grab it in a reverse grip, which is how it's kind of intended. You can use the pinky to unsnap that again because of that plate. It's easy to do, just to pop that open and get this out in reverse grip. But what I've been doing is I've been carrying this on the small of my back. Now, just a little word of warning. I would never carry anything directly like above my butt crack, okay? And the reason for that, and the reason I said butt crack, is to give you a visual, not of my particular butt crack, but just the center, you know, the middle. That's where it should be. That's where mine is. Hopefully that's where yours is. You don't want to carry anything, guns, knives, anything metal, flashlights, anything like that, directly in line with your spine. I know this sounds crazy and extremely rare, but there's been cases where people carried their firearm directly, you know, in line with their spine, and they took a fall or something, and they've actually been paralyzed and or had serious damage on their spinal cord, you know, the spinal column, because of the fact that you have that rigid piece of metal, whatever, and it dug into them when they fell. You know, if there's some kind of impact, something hit them or they hit something, you never want to carry anything right there, okay? So just say no to crack. That's what I learned in DARE program in school, and that should stick with you in this case as well. So let's just pretend this is my crack. I don't have it mounted right here on the pants. Actually, it'd be like this on the inside of my pants. I have it mounted a little bit to the right, so it's above the butt cheekus area, okay? And this is for that specific safety reason. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, there are cases where people seriously hurt themselves, if not paralyze themselves, because they fell and either gun or knife or whatever just, you know, cracked their spine, and it's not good. So either, you know, to the left or the right of it, don't have it in the center. But anyway, having it oriented like that, when I reach behind my back, what I'm doing is I have the option of carrying this so that I can draw it in a you know, a standard grip as opposed to a reverse grip. Now, as far as defensive purposes, more times than not, I would want to use a Karambit in a reverse grip. That's just personal preference and how I plan on using a knife to defend myself. But, you know, how I've been using it lately for, not for defense, but for utility purposes, is in this position. Just over my, you know, back right pocket, let's just say. We'll get away from the whole butt cheek thing. And when I reach behind, I can, of course, orientate my pinky through the hole, naturally grab the knife like this, and the pointer finger lands right where it's supposed to unsnap that, and I can draw it in a standard grip like this and use it for utility work. Now, this is still a very good design for utility, with the one caveat, of course, that your tip is going to be a little bit more fragile. But having that heavy sweep on the blade, that hawkbill style blade, will rip through things like nobody's business. I can tell you that this came dull. Not dull like a butter knife, but it wouldn't cleanly slice through paper, which is a very basic standard. Taking a regular piece of printer paper, notebook paper, whatever, and cleanly slicing through it is, I would say, the industry standard for a sharp knife. Some people like it even sharper than that, but anything less than that, I don't think is a great factory edge. Just to not have a great factory edge. The steel on this is a 7 CR13, and it's actually stamped on the blade, which is surprising to me because a lot of cheaper knives, they never mark them. But you can see United 7 CR13 stainless steel, and then of course that's their model and or SKU number for the factory. But I talked about these, the CR steels, right? 7 CR13, blah blah blah, blank CR blank and or blank CR blank MOV are all Chinese steels, and they're referring to basically carbon and chromium content. They're soft. They're all soft. They're all on par with a 440A, maybe properly heat treated. As far as all the cheapo stuff out there, United Cutlery does a little bit of a better job on their steel on the heat treat, but you can't get past the fact that it's a cheap steel. All right, so not only was it dull, but of course when I sharpened it up, and it was very easy to sharpen, that's one of the pros with these, it did not hold an edge very good, okay, for utility work. So I would definitely recommend something like this as like kind of a fun knife. You can use it for utility work. It's just keep in mind you're going to be needing to sharpen your blade quite often. But besides that, if you're going to buy it for a self-defense option, something to keep in the car just for emergencies, under the seat, who knows, maybe something to keep on your person, this is, I think, a fantastic option for a retention blade on your offhand if you're going to be carrying a gun. Okay, having a substantial, this is a large Karambit. All right, you're talking a 4-inch blade, 8.34 inches overall. It's a big one. Okay, and if you were to orient this on your person, let's say on your left side, all right, so if you're righty and you were going to mount this, well, you'd have to maybe, I'm just thinking now, because I didn't carry this on my left side for like a retention blade. So say if you were going to be able to mount this on your left side so that you can use this, let's say you're drawing a gun, there's some kind of a struggle, you can reach for your knife with your left hand and really get someone off of you with a blade like this. But how the pocket clip is mounted, I'm not sure offhand how that would work out great for a righty. But regardless, if you're lefty, obviously you can mount it how I was shown before, talking about before. Overall, it's extremely comfortable. These finger choils here are perfect. The way they're molded, and by the way, this is just a regular cheapo rubber overmold. The fit and finish is it's okay. It's not great. You can see where there's the mold overextended, so you may want to cut that out a little bit just to clean it up yourself. When you're talking about cheaper knives, this is the kind of stuff you get, the overmold. You wouldn't see this on maybe a higher end knife using the same process. They would clean up this stuff a little bit better, but price always reflects the end product. But anyway, these finger choils are perfect. Not only obviously you have a finger choil, but you have the relief cut here, and when looking at it like this, you can see the hourglass shape as well. This really supports your fingers. It's very, very comfortable. Naturally, when I grab this knife, it's comfortable using the ring or hole for the pinky, as well as if you had it over. Okay, so if you wanted to hold it like this, it almost feels like it fills your hand a little bit more. Because you use the pinky, you can see there's not a whole lot of material here. So it almost feels like your pinky is not holding on to anything. This actually feels even more substantial. It feels like an even better grip. You can see where my thumb naturally lands on the texturing here, kind of the rubberized jimping, if you will, slight slant. It's really comfortable in the hand. It naturally fits you. Okay, of course in the reverse grip, you're gonna want it to fit very comfortably. And it does come to somewhat of a point. So if you were to use this in the reverse grip, you can of course punch or jab with that. That would cause a lot of damage, but maybe be a little bit less lethal, depending on how you're using it. Overall, if you're in the market for a Karambit, whether it's something just to keep in a display case to look cool or something to actually carry for defense, this is a fantastic option for 33 bucks. It really is one of my favorite cheap fixed blades out there. It's very, very cool. It just looks awesome. Now, I would never ever recommend ever drawing or pulling a knife on someone for defense if you do not intend to use it. All right, i.e. people who carry a knife and they think, well, you know, if my life's in danger, maybe I'll flash a knife, you know, and the people will be scared. That's the worst thing you can do ever. Same goes for a gun. Some people carry guns thinking, you know, all I'll have to do is show it to them and they'll get scared and they'll stop an attack or stop whatever. You can't think like that. That's extremely dangerous and extremely reckless. If you were to ever take a knife out with intimidating someone, you have to have the intention of actually using it. You can have your knife taken away from you and used on you. You know, it opens up a whole thing of legal ramifications for that stuff. So, like I said, I would never recommend having a knife just for intimidation purposes. It's stupid. Same with a gun or any other weapon. If you take a weapon out and show someone with the intention of telling them, hey, I'm going to use this on you, you better be prepared to use it on them if that's the case. But anyway, the point being, if you were in a situation where you had to defend yourself and you did pull a knife out with the intention to use it, I think this is an extremely, extremely aggressive looking knife. And to be honest, it is very intimidating. This may or may not actually cause a person to second guess whether they want to mess with you, or go through with say a robbery, a jumping, anything like that. So I think it's very cool looking. Honestly, it's like a little, not collectible as far as a financial purchase, like an investment, but collectible in the fact that it's just kind of fun. It's a fun knife to have. There's no way around it. Even if you're not going to use the thing, even if you're really experienced with knives and you're, exposed to much higher quality knives, this is still a really fun knife to have. And for 33 bucks, I think it's certainly worth it. I love it, and I will sharpen it up, razor sharp, and I will carry it occasionally as a defensive blade, or a defensive option anyway. So I'm very happy with it, honestly. United Cutlery makes another Karambit right now currently that is much smaller. As because if this thing is too big for you, if you have tiny hands, or if you just don't want something that's this big, they have a skeletonized version. It's kind of funky. There's not a whole lot of metal there. I'm not sure how comfortable it is. I have no experience with it. I just happen to be mentioning it because I also saw it on the website as well when I was looking for Karambits. But I'm extremely happy with this. Extremely happy with this. I can tell you though, from experience, that United Cutlery's coatings, they do wear off quite fast. So if you were to get like the black coated version pictured here again, if you were to use it, of course it will come off the blade, but all coatings will come off the blade. And actually it's interesting because the box, the advertisement here shows an AUS 8 stainless, and I'm almost 100% positive that the black coated version is also 7CR13. So that might just be a typographical error. So pay no attention to that. I don't think any of them are AUS 8. So anyway, that's it. That's my review on this Honshu fixed Karambit. It's a very, very cool knife for the money. So thanks for watching, guys. I always appreciate it. And as usual, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you soon. Take care.